All right. Oh, freaking heck, we're live. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone is doing well today. Hope everyone is doing amazing today. We are certainly doing amazing over here at Butter Fighting Secrets. So what we want to do is give everybody a little bit of time to trickle in. DJ, as usual, we can't stay too long. Unfortunately, I have to go to MMA practice here in a little bit, but we're gonna do a little bit of an impromptu live stream here, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for everyone. So hope everyone is ready. I got questions that I've been emailed, topics that people have emailed me, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to play a song, probably take about 4 or 5 minutes, maybe max, and then we'll get right into it so that everybody is able to participate in the live stream today. We're doing it at this period of time specifically because analytics tell me that this is when people are more likely to join. So we'll go from there. All right, guys, stand by. I'm going to cover the camera as usual, and I'll play, I don't know, let's play this song. It's called, what the fuck is it called? It's called Koof's Tomb. I don't know. I use Soundstripe because otherwise they'll fucking give me copyright strikes and shit. So this song is about 4 minutes. So I'll see you guys in 4 freaking minutes. All right, stand by, motherflowers. Boom. I need to get streaming software. If anybody can help me with that, be open to suggestions. All right. And we are live on YouTube. Not on Instagram because they still have me fucking shadow banned, but live on YouTube. Here we are. We're doing it. Happy Kwanzaa, Apocalypse Survivor, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Richie the Wolf, yo, what up, bro? Hope everyone's freaking ready for a dope-ass live stream. These lights are kind of bothering me in the background. Like, probably won't switch them off unless the halo effect really bothers anybody's PTSD or something, but I'm good with it. So we'll just move this. There we go. You guys like my artwork? Pretty fucking dope. I just spilled on my pens, but it's okay. All right, so here we are. Before I get into the Q&A session here, let me take a minute to say I've gotten a couple of emails from people, like really nice Christmas card emails. Like nobody fucking sends Christmas cards anymore, but I've gotten like emails that are like a Christmas card, like not the ones where it's like there's pictures on them and shit, but like nice emails wishing me and everyone in the GFS team a Merry Christmas and letting me know how you guys are doing and all of that. And I've gotten several of these. I really appreciate that. Part of the cool thing about this channel has been making friends and contacts like throughout the tactical community and the prepper community. And whenever you guys like send me an email and let me know how you're doing and ask me how I'm doing, like it's freaking touching and I like it, and like I said, thank you for your emails. And I know I've responded to a bunch of them and I don't think I've left anyone hanging. So, but with that being said, I do appreciate that. It's very nice to get like Christmas correspondence. I really do like it. It makes me feel a lot more seasonable. You guys know I live right now out in the desert and it doesn't seem like Christmas here with like freaking palm trees all over the place. But whenever I can get more in the Christmas spirit, like I really, really like it. So thanks for that, guys. Now, before we get started, I know I've been selling a couple of warrior weight loss programs lately. And let me just tell you guys, these things are freaking amazing. And we're thinking about even like making a warrior weight loss 2.0. It's been like this popular. And I know Christmas is tough for people, especially if you ever do struggle with putting on a few extra pounds, because you probably will, right? And that's why I've been on a massive cut. Enough about me, but I've lost 5 pounds in the past 2 weeks purposely so that I can get ready and put on a couple of pounds during the Christmas celebrations. But I really want to encourage you guys to check out our warrior weight loss program. It's like $45 for the value that you get. It's incredible. And y'all know I've lost over 120 something pounds when I was younger, and I continue to cut for fights and I continue to cut for various reasons. If I get too fat, I'll like lose 15, 20 pounds. And I know exactly how it's done. I know the scientific process behind it. Combine that with proper nutrition, proper vitamin supplementation, and all of that. It's powerful stuff. So if you guys want to take yourself to the next level and really start looking good for the new year, check out gutterfightingsecrets.com. Warrior weight loss is a great way to kind of get in shape quickly through diet. All right. Yeah, exercise is very important, but diet's the most important thing. I always like to say it's about 70-30, right? 70% diet, 30% exercise. Maybe it's a little bit more or less, give or take, depending on what your personal body type and genetics are. But hey, go check it out. It's well worth your time and money. And we keep our prices deliberately suppressed right now because it's a freaking recession. And we'll get into that. I've had several questions about it. So, well, I want to encourage all of you guys out there, get involved in the chat, like ask questions, anything that you want, have been on your mind about self-defense, about prepping, about whatever. If I know about it, I'll answer it. If I don't, we'll get back to you. So let's get into it, guys. I've had some good emails and some good DMs lately. Like, I always encourage guys and girls to send me your questions, whenever you got a topic you want covered. Hold on a second, guys. Right in the middle of the meeting right now. Could you come back in like an hour? Yeah. All right. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Maintenance. They're really nice in this building. They always stop by when I ask them to. So Where was I? Oh yeah, send me freaking emails about what you got questions about, and we'll go in depth and answer them whenever we can on the live streams. What lends itself well. I like this. I really like this format where I'm not just sitting around like trying to think of things to say. Like I actually have something prepared to talk about, and it's way better that way. So let's get into the Q&A, guys. And again, if you have any questions, type them in the chat. We'll get to them. So first question here, and by the way, when I get these emails, they're usually like a paragraph or 2 or 3 long, and I'll condense them down to like what the exact topic or question is. So what do I think about revolvers for everyday carry? I don't personally carry a revolver. I always carry a semi-automatic weapon with me. But they're great. I mean, revolver is a nice backup gun if that's something that you utilize. I don't usually do 2 guns, but if I were to do 2 guns, it would probably be like a 380 and a full-size pistol, right? Or, a rifle and a pistol or whatever. But yeah, revolvers are great. Our friend over at Snubby Society is all about them for deep concealment, right? You can put the pocket clip on them and put it right in your waistband, and that's great for deep concealment. You can also throw a little 38 or, something like that in your pocket and just go. So they're great. The only problem is, the limited capacity of ammunition that you can fit in them. Anywhere between 5 to, 7 shots is, what you'll get. You could say the same thing for a compact 380, right? But the nice thing about, semi-automatics is you can get extended magazines for those. So, I carry pretty much exclusively a 380 right now during the winter because I can fit it in my pocket and I can conceal it real deep, right? I don't got to like worry about printing or whatever. If I'm in a meeting with people who might not take kindly to me carrying a weapon, then, I don't have to deal with that. And I also don't have to deal with like I appendix carry a lot and it digs in, especially if I go out to a nice dinner or whatever. I don't want to have to worry about it. It's annoying. I just don't like carrying a weapon with me. That is inside the waistband. It's just annoying. So I like the little 380s, but a revolver, hey, it's great. I mean, and especially like I said, if you're worried about the prying eyes of, big brother or whatever upon you, and you really need that deep concealment, then yeah, sure, revolver can be great. And if it's all you got, then it's better than nothing. I'll tell you that. So I'm totally for revolvers. Nothing against them. I just don't personally carry one. So a young lady wanted to know if I'm a more of an oceans or a mountains type of guy. That feels like something I would get on like Hinge or Tinder or something. Not Tinder, but like Bumble or Hinge. But definitely more the oceans. I was a salt sea sailor for a long time. I also worked on the Great Lakes. So if I'm going to go relax somewhere, it ain't going to be the mountains. If I'm going to go train somewhere, it's probably going to be the mountains. But if I'm going to go to relax, it's definitely going to be the beach. And I love being out on the ocean. I feel a sense of freedom and really connected with the Earth's energy on the ocean. So hopefully that answered that question. Best techniques for multiple attackers. So this was an interesting email. I did receive it probably, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I never got to it. And it was a long email. But the long and short is what do I think the best kind of techniques out there are for dealing with multiple attackers? Well, let's get into that. So, you guys know I've had personal experience on several occasions with multiple attackers, and it's no joke. And it's one of those things where it's considered deadly force in some areas. I can't say in all. I'm not an attorney. I don't take anything I say as legal advice, but in some areas, multiple attackers would be considered a deadly force situation. It's serious, and they will fucking kill you if it doesn't go well. So you have to really be kind of on your toes for this. In fact, it's so important that I run a small martial arts training class out here where I am, which is classified fucking location unless I know you. But I do teach a very small class. It's growing, but right now it's about 4 dudes consistently coming. And I had us doing multiple attacker drills the other day because it's that freaking important. So my personal opinion about multiple attackers is when it's feasible, and it won't always be, but when it's feasible, stacking. Stacking is a great a great way to go, and it's really an important tactic to know how to do. Now, in other words, stacking is if you've got one guy here, and one guy here, right, all in a straight line. You don't want them all in a straight line because they can surround you. Anytime you can, you want to stack them on top of each other. And I think that we all kind of know what that means, but you want to put one guy behind the other guy behind the other guy. That's done through footwork and movement, knowing how to properly move around. If you can deal with one guy and he's got another guy behind him, yeah, he might try to flank you, but always keep moving around. So being able to move and move well, especially, in a closer environment or, an alleyway or something like that, it can be good because a lot of the times when we're facing multiple attackers, it's not like, necessarily going to be out in a parking lot. It could be, but a lot of the times it's a closed space, right? Whether that's a prison cell, whether that's a hallway, whether that's an alleyway, maybe even a parking garage around multiple parked vehicles. So 2 things that I can say is learn to stack. Learn to stack your opponents. Learn to be able to get good enough at moving and evading their punches long enough or their attacks long enough to stack them in front of each other. You can grab their shirt. You can move them around. Knowing clinch work, like Muay Thai clinch work, is very handy for this because you can know how to move somebody purposely and forcefully. That's great. And then also using your environment to your advantage. So like I said about parked cars, if you can, put a parked car between you and the 2 other opponents, and deal with one and then have to deal with the other, if that's in fact you do want to fight your way through this, then that's good too. Putting chairs between you and them, putting furniture, anything that you can do, but just realize when you're doing, furniture in the way that can be detrimental to you as well. You can trip over it. So, and then once you're on the ground, it's a whole different ballgame. So that's what I would say. Learn to improvise weaponry like car antenna, like for real, a car antenna is a great weapon. If you snap that off a car, and I don't know if like all cars have that these days, but you can still find them out there for sure. If you can snap off a car antenna and whip somebody with it, like you can cut them in the face real well. Just realize every time you escalate force, your attackers are going to escalate force as well. So if they were like just going to, scare you, or if they were just going to like rough you up a bit, but then you take off a car antenna and start whipping it at them, it's going to piss them off. So if you really like, don't escalate force, and this is a big thing in street fights that the RBS, reality-based self-defense community doesn't kind of talk about enough, is that you have to really be sure if you want to escalate force, not only in the court of law, but also just in that like street mentality, like unspoken rule set. Like every time you escalate force, your opponent's going to escalate their force as well. But if worse comes to worse, pens, keys. Now, I don't have my keys on me, but like, you'll hear about like grabbing your key and putting it between your knuckles. There's a right way and a wrong way to do that. And then just think about this as well. Like, let's say you have your car keys and you start striking at people with it, like it's an old, like not a push button start, but like a real car key, and you damage it. Well, that's going to hinder your ability to egress if you need to. If you're in your car, like if you're near your car and then you strike them with your keys and you're denting your key on their head and shit, like if you deform it and then you can't get in your car and start it again, well, that might not be good either, right? And using like house keys, like those skeleton type keys, or like even not skeleton keys, but you know what I mean, like the house keys, it can be awkward and it can hurt your hands too. So, using other things more like a pen or everyone's favorite, a tactical flashlight. These things can be good. Taking your belt off and whipping them with the buckle, all of that type of stuff, grabbing something on the ground, like whether that's a piece of glass or a brick or a broom handle from the garbage, whatever. Like, really just think about what you can use from your environment to aid you in surviving through that situation. And then realize every time you do escalate force, not only are you going to be liable for that in a court of law, but, they're going to escalate as well. So if I go ahead and start whipping them with a car antenna, some guy might decide he wants to pull his knife out, and then it's a really bad situation. So just realize all that. But if he does, in fact, pull a knife out first, then you're going to sure as shit want something to fight him with and not just your hands, because that's a losing battle. Compared to 2021, how was 2022 as a whole a year for me? It was awesome, man. Thank you for asking. It was awesome. Yeah, it was good, man. 2022, I mean, like the stock market fucking sucks right now. It was awesome in 21, but it sucked in 22. But otherwise, personally, it was okay, man. I've had some wins, I've had some losses, but thank you for asking. Stacking seems to be the best strategy. Yeah, I really think it is, and that's just between like real experiences on the street and then all the sparring that I've done with this as well. That always seems to be kind of the best option that you have. UC has a great method at stacking, and UC is a great. I'm friends with Lee. Like, we talk every now and again. I'm a little hoarse. I've been doing a lot of talking over the past week, and I'm fighting something off too. Everyone's sick right now. UC is urban combatives is like probably my favorite go-to system as far as self-defense goes. I mean, as far as like, obviously MMA I think is the best, period. But as far as like RBC stuff, UC is the best. Jackie Chan used one in Rumble. Yeah, Rumble in the Bronx, man. Fucking Bronx. Is BJJ really that good for street self-defense? Yeah and no. I mean, like, yeah and no. I've talked about this a lot with BJJ, and there's a couple of problems with jiu-jitsu. It's amazing for a one-on-one fight. Like, you're not going to get any better than this. You're not. And if you add in like the ability to strike, and which is why I say MMA, not BJJ, is probably a better way to go, because you go to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, you're wearing a gi, okay? You're going to learn the basics and fundamentals of grappling, but you're wearing a gi. And, even if you train gi and no gi, which you should be, it's a great grappling art. Everybody should grapple. But the problem is nowadays there's so much sports shit thrown into it that they've really lost touch of jiu-jitsu as a fighting art. It has. Trust me, I go 3 days a week, sometimes more, and I do MMA twice a week. It's lost a lot of its real fighting art. You can still find plenty of schools out there that incorporate that street mentality or that MMA mentality into jiu-jitsu, but a lot don't, and a lot are very soft. In fact, last night I was at jiu-jitsu, and this guy came in, and he was obviously a wrestler, but he's like a heavyweight wrestler. He looked like a Hell's Angel. I don't know, probably not, but he looked like one. Big dude, big fucking dude, probably 300 pounds if I had to guess. No, not that much. 280, maybe. I want to say 270, like a big dude, right? Like one of those dudes that he's stocky, he's got muscle, and he's like a little bit fat too, like just intimidating looking dude, long ponytail hair, right? And he looked like a fucking degenerate biker. So I get paired up with him, and I'm like, fuck, damn it, because I know these types of dudes. And he had a white belt with no stripes on that had like it was a loner belt. So I'm like, fuck. Not only is this dude's huge, not only can I tell he's like a heavyweight wrestler, he also is a brand new white belt, and that's how you get injured, is rolling with brand new white belts that don't know how to control themselves. So I start rolling with him, and we're drilling. We're not doing any live sparring. We're drilling, and I get kneed in the balls. I'm like, fuck, man, like, relax. And we're drilling more, and he knees me in the balls again. Not like hard enough for me to like flip out, but I don't want to get fucking my balls even touched, right? And it happens like 2 more times. And I'm like, fucking relax, bro. Like, you don't need to go hard. Like, just, we're drilling, okay? And then so we're drilling again, and he's like so powerful that he can't even help it, but he also doesn't really understand drilling. He doesn't understand that, like, we're doing this to practice a technique. You don't need to resist me much. Like, and he just didn't understand it. So I'm like, fuck this guy. And anyway, long story short, the guy was just so fucking big and powerful. Like, we're doing all this sports related shit. We're like it's like a lasso with the foot and all this shit. I hate that shit. But like, there's not much I can do. So you combine a big ass dude like that with wrestling ability, and he said he wrestled like all through high school, and I don't know about college, but it's like, yeah, like I started asking him, I'm like, you wrestle? He's like, oh yeah, yeah, this and that. He didn't want to admit it at first, which I never understand. But then I'm like, yeah, you're obviously a wrestler. So there's like not much I could have done against this guy with pure grappling skills. I'm a blue belt. Like he's a fucking huge dude, and he knows how to grapple. Nothing you could do against it. There's nothing you could fucking do, right? I mean, even if you're going to strike at him and stuff, like, you're better off avoiding that fucking fight. But if you have to fight, just gouge his fucking eyes, bite his fucking neck. Like, all of that savage shit would come into play because he'll kill you otherwise. And he admitted, he's like, like during wrestling, I would just like break dudes' jaws and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, like you like to break people's jaws? He's like, yeah. And I was like, fuck. Like, anyway, that's the type of dude you're going to be dealing with if you have to fight. So, like, if you just do jujitsu and you're used to like a school where it's like, oh, like I'll catch you and then you catch me and we'll like flow roll, dude. Like, hey, bro, like jujitsu, man. Like, that's not going to prepare you for a fight with this dude at all, at all, at all, at all. And you're going to like put your feet over your head and he's going to stack you and fucking slam you and fucking hurt you bad. So, like, there's where jujitsu schools are not. That's not good. Now, if you're also going and doing MMA training where you get fucking power slammed down and you wrestle and all of that, sure. But that's a really long-winded answer about, like, is BJJ really good for street self-defense? I got to be honest with you. I can't lie about this. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Now, should you be doing jiu-jitsu to learn fundamentals of grappling if you never wrestled? Yeah. No, absolutely. You're going to get good cardio. You're going to learn how to move on the ground. You're going to learn some techniques. You're going to learn how to get out of techniques. You're going to learn how to fight on the ground, get comfortable down there. Absolutely, you should be doing grappling training, especially if you've never wrestled before. But if you had a choice between wrestling and BJJ, I would say fucking wrestle 100% or do something more like that. And then learn some chokes and some, arm locks and stuff like that too. But that's my honest answer for street self-defense. Wrestle over jiu-jitsu any day. It's better. It's a better art. Yeah. Oh, Shondo. Hey, what's up, man? Thoughts on? Yeah. So this was a long email too, and my heart goes out to you, bro. So I'll leave the name out of it, but this gentleman lost a lot of money in the stock market this year, and he's basically saying that the stock market, he thinks, is going to collapse altogether. You wanted kind of my thoughts on this? It's not going to collapse. The stock market's not going to collapse. And I'm not going to go into stock market jargon here, but if you take a look at like all of the really bad times that we've had in this country on a graph, it kind of goes like this, like, oh, that was the World War II. And then it goes like this. And that was Korean War. It goes like this. Oh, that was Vietnam. That was 9/11. That was the, 2008 recession. That was 2020, pandemic. And then it keeps going like this. So, like, yes, we will see drops in the market, but no, we will not see an all-out collapse of the market unless society in entirety goes to fucking hell. So I don't give financial advice ever, but I would say hold what you got. If you get green, if you go green, then you can sell into rallies and stuff, but don't. The long and short of it is, don't panic and don't sell at the bottom, and hang strong, because things will come back, right? So if you're looking at your IRA or your rather your 401k or both or whatever, like, it'll come back. Just, you'll be good, man. That's all I can say about that. Building a team for shit hit the fan, which is a great question. I would say the most important thing would be to go after recruiting good people, like people that you can trust. I would say it's important to really vet these people. Like, can they perform during a stressful time? Are they trainable? Are they teachable? What kind of training and teaching do you, what kind of training do you have? Do you have enough training that you can train these men or women like the way that you need them to react. Vet them psychologically. Vet them as far as what their mindset about, you know, the world in general is. Are they opposing politically views to you? Because that could be a plus or a minus depending. It's sometimes it's hard to put together a team, and it takes a while. It could take years to put together a solid team. You know, if you're just recruiting from civilian people that you meet, it could take a long time. And it depends where you are too, right? But I would say get out there a lot, go to social events. You know, if we're looking at recruiting an asset or assets, quote unquote, I would say go out all the time, meet as many fucking people as you can. You know, try to go out to things like that. You know, people like that might go to shooting stuff, shooting events, bars that are of that persuasion of people. You know, bars are tough because then people who hang out in bars go to bars, right? Not exactly like the highest caliber of people. And feel people out. You know, drop a hint every now and again. You're talking to your doctor or, you know, someone like that you think, oh, we need a doctor on the team. Well, the only way to meet, you know, a doctor that you could put on your team would be to go out there and talk to doctors, right? So go to events where doctors hang out and feel them out. It's a delicate way of doing things, but you have to be delicate about it. You can't just go and say, hey, I'm recruiting. I need 4 people for a fire team for shit hit the fan. Like, do you want to join? Like, that's not smart. You can't do that. You get a knock on your fucking door. So, you know, the smart way to do it would be to recruit from people that you know. And then when you need to branch out, but just don't rush into it. Really, really, really take your time with it and vet these people, vet them psychologically, take them shooting, take them hiking, take them, you know, maybe you can put them through some stressful situations, see how they react. But that's how I would do it. And then, you know, build a team. If you're putting together like a 4-man fire team type of thing, or, you know, like a larger 8-man, would that be DJ? Would that be a squad? 8-man? Anyway, 10 men, something like that. So if you're putting together a larger group, you need like different expertise. You need someone who's good at programming radios and electronics and shit. You need somebody with good medical training. You need somebody who's, you know, good at like door kicker type shit. You need somebody who's, you know, good at driving and stuff like that, potentially. Oh, so I was right. Okay. So yeah, like you need to put together a team when you need to utilize people's expertise. And then another thing that you want to do is realize that everybody has strengths and weaknesses. So play to people's strengths. Like if you're ever in a situation where you're with people and maybe like say there's one like a weak dude, right? You're like forced into this situation where you have to like survive with like, and there's this like pussy ass dude. Well, what are his strengths? If he can't fight, if he can't do anything, you know, like reasonable, like he's got to be good at something. Is he good at fucking, can he cook? You know, can he make the guys a meal, right? Or can you make him clean? Like whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like use everybody's strengths and weaknesses and figure out what that is in your team, figure out what that is in your group. Part of being a good leader is kind of realizing and noticing people's strengths and weaknesses. And if somebody's weak in an area, don't expect them to perform well at that. If a guy is like lazy and he's like always like tired and falling asleep, well, don't put him on, you know, the 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. watch or the 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. watch, right? Like put him on a day type schedule. So that's a good thing. If you're going to be a leader, lead your men and women accordingly and know what they're good at and know what they're not good at. And try to play to that accordingly. And this actually, someone else was asking about the best type of radio to buy for this type of situation. Now, I'm not fucking guy to ask about radios. I don't know. I know that Baofangs are what most militia guys use. I use a Baofang. I fucking bring it with me. I tell the radio guy, fucking program this for me. What's the alternate channel? Is there any radio procedures I need to know specifically? You know, what are the codes and all that stuff that I need to be aware of? I'm blanking on the name of that right now. The SOI. What's the SOI? Like, I'll know the basics, but don't expect me to fucking do anything else with this thing. And usually they're Baofang. Now, the thing is with radios, like, it's important to realize that if you are like gonna actually be going out there and putting in work, encryption is a big thing. You don't want anyone else being able to listen to your traffic. And this is something that you should discuss with your radio person. This is very fucking important. So not only SOI, sensitive information, you encode all of your traffic. So instead of saying we're over here at the northwest side of the field, you could say it would sound more something like Juliet, Juliet, Papa, Indigo, Indigo, Ice Pick. It would just sound like a bunch of random shit. And, instead, like, you would have a sheet of information that you would know, okay, like Juliet means west, and, all of that stuff. So that's number one. But then number two, you don't want them to be able to hear that anyway. So work within those parameters is very fucking important, because you will get killed if somebody can like listen in on you. And then also, like, that SOI sheet that you may have, or hopefully you have and have made, if one of your men or women gets captured or is a casualty and the enemy discovers one of those sheets on them, then they have your SOI. And it's a pain in the fucking ass to change it. Like, it takes a while. So it's going to be really important to have your comms like worked out, so that not only is like hopefully nobody listening in and eavesdropping, but hopefully also like they can't triangulate you as well. And that's beyond me. Like, I know there's ways to avoid that and help that, but I don't know about it. But I would just say, like, bail fangs are what everybody seems to like to use. That's what I know. That's what all the guys I always train with use. But make sure you're programming these things well and talking to your comms guys about it, and like learn about it yourself too a little bit. But that's very fucking important, like to establish good comms security. So I have a question here. I have a question here about dating, and I don't usually answer this stuff on these live streams, but I simply got an email saying, what are the best tactics to smash on a first date? Thanks. So I really like that. So I'll answer that one here. Fuck it, why not? I have Seduction Secrets 101. All right, Seduction Secrets 101 is like the channel that we do for all of our dating shit and our seduction shit. And I don't really work on that. Like, I posted one video in the past like few months because it's not a priority for me. But I will answer that. Best way to smash on a first date, bro, you got to touch her a lot. You got to make her comfortable with your, you got to make her comfortable with your touch. You got to be fucking charming. You got to make a lot of eye contact, right? So like looking at her a lot and like smiling and making it very obvious, raising that sexual tension, that sexual energy, and just do your best, man. Because on a first date, that's the thing. That's challenging, because a lot of women will go out with you on a first date and it's like they have no fucking intention to smash. Depends on where you meet them, right? But if you really want to, just push it. Just push it as much as you can. If you're not attached to like trying to make her your girlfriend or like going out with her again, like, then just push it. Lots of touching. It's hard to fucking like tell you how to Kino escalate like here on a live stream, but you get it. Like, touch her again for a little longer, make her laugh, make her smile. One guy that I know from Tactical Response, I'll leave his name out of it, but he always used to say, bro, if I can make her smile and laugh and touch her, like, I'm going to be smashing. So that's very good advice. Make her smile and laugh, work your way into more physical contact. Don't be fucking a bitch. Don't be a pussy. Like, go for the kiss. If there's a moment where you're both looking at each other, you could tell like that's the way it's going. Like, lean in for the kiss, dude. Just do it. Like, escalate. And that's what I will say about that. Give me a second, guys. I need to check this real quick. Everybody's getting sick right now. It's fucking terrible. So, rent a Lambo. First date, fat chicks. That's actually a good. That's actually good. You say that, Apocalypse. It's funny, but you know, if you really, I had a friend. He was a fucking. He is and was a fucking ladies' man. He's like me. He's 36 and he's still fucking single. You know, and it's like he wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. And he said the same thing, man. He's like, he goes, sometimes you just have to bang ugly chicks. It's the only way to get laid all the time. And it's true, man. If you just simply want to get laid, you're not concerned about like, but don't tell your friends about it. Don't let your friends fucking find out about it because they'll make fun of you. So take them out to a restaurant where like you don't know anybody and just keep it on the DL. But you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I say quality over quantity, but some people have the abundance mindset. But I mean, go check out Seduction Secret. We don't talk too much about like the bullshit, like what is it, mystery method shit. Like I don't put a lot of stock in that stuff. Just be a fucking man. Go for what you want, you know? Enough said. Let's keep it about self-defense as much as we can. Let's see. Date. I like Apocalypse's advice though. Take first dates to a gay club. They get turned on by the room filled with male pheromones and ripped dudes making out, but no one is straight but you. That's actually I could see how that would be good advice. It's kind of counterintuitive, but be good advice. I don't like those places. I always just get very uncomfortable, but yeah. That's all the ones I had for the emails. Let's see. Do I have anything else for DMs? DMs. If you guys have any questions out there, just let me know. Hello. No, I think that's all the questions. So there we go. Instead of sparring when solo training, ideas instead of sparring when solo training. I do so much solo. We all do a lot of solo training, Paul. And you know, I'm actually gonna make a fucking whole program about solo training just because it's honestly so much more important to know how to do a lot of good solo training stuff than it is to do like because a lot of us don't like if you don't go to a number of places, you don't have a lot of partners willing to like spar with you, right? So I say, and that's a great question. I say do a lot of heavy bag stuff, do a lot of shadow boxing, do a lot of visualization. Really trying to get in that mindset of like when I'm shadow boxing, like I really want to make sure that I'm really visualizing kind of what a realistic self-defense situation might look like. You know, when you're doing shadow boxing, try to keep that in mind that like I'm shadow boxing. What would a realistic, you know, punching match look like on the street? If I'm doing like more visualization about, you know, fucking close in fighting with chin jabs and stuff like that, what would that look like? And, you know, don't be afraid to slow it down a little bit and do some underwater type training, right? When I say that, like chin jab and I'm visualizing pushing his chin back. I'm visualizing pushing his chin back. And how would that feel on my arm, right? How much body weight would I need to be transferring, you know, from my foot up to my leg, into my shoulder, into my arm and my bicep, into my forearm, how much power I'm going to need to use. Am I going to need to actually, you know, generate a little bit more force by pushing off that back, like all of that type of stuff to be thinking about. And it really will help you. If you can get like, and this is old school, but if you can get like a paint can, right? You don't have to fill it with sand, but you can, or just keep it full of paint. If you can get a paint can, hang it from a tree, or a swing set or something, right? Put it right at fucking head level. And if you can push that bad boy and make it swing back and forth like this, and practice slipping and ducking and moving around it, right? It doesn't have to be a paint can, but what I've done is take a paint can and wrap rope around it and make it like, look pretty. That way you can hit it with bare fists as well. Go ahead and train your hands, man. Get like a sandbag. They make these specific ones on, in Chinatown. You can probably get on Amazon, and, train your hands, but don't do it too much, because you don't want to give yourself arthritis later in life. But condition yourself, condition your palms, your iron palm, condition your hands, your knuckles. A really big thing that I've noticed with guys who do a lot of solo training is they'll get in a bad habit of hitting with the wrong knuckles. And especially if you do a lot of like boxing with gloves or Muay Thai with gloves, you get bad habits where like you don't close your hand all the way, or you hit slightly the wrong way with the knuckles with you. So you're hitting with, these over here, and that's a surefire way. I've literally I've had boxer's fractures in my hands from street fights 3 or 4 different times in my life where I've not been hitting the right way. So really practice turning those knuckles over, practice keeping your hands up, right? Keeping your hands up in the right places. All of these little details, work the fine details. And if you have any questions on, details, or if you ever want to send me a video of you doing this stuff and have me correct it, we could do that too. But if you do bag work with bandages, at least a few rounds, bandages or bands, to compensate non-sparring. Yeah. So visualize, anytime that you can practice doing movement, do it. If you can make yourself like a Wing Chun pole, right? Like build something and put some fucking arms on it. Like if you can practice doing that and getting out of the way and chopping, all of that stuff will make you better. And you guys know I've made a video about it before. The band, putting a band on a heavy bag, and like you wrap your hands with bandages. Okay, cool. Yeah, good stuff. But you guys know I'm big on the bands. If you can put resistance bands on a heavy bag and practice grabbing it and moving it around, striking into it, right? Like Urban Combatives is big on grabbing somebody when you hit them. The reason being that you don't want that liability. If like you strike someone in the fucking face, they hit the deck, they hit their head, they're dead, then you're going to jail. So they attach to people as or before they're striking, to control their descent down. So that's a good thing. Put a fucking hoodie or t-shirt, tape it on the heavy bag, whatever, or put it on a tree or something. And, just practice all your movement. Movement is life. Movement is critical. Apocalypse has been wanting to buy some Boss Root and punching dummy. Has anyone? I've never used that. It is cool. I've seen it on Instagram. That stuff is all great. And I say train. But with all that being said, and I will make a program on this, on specifically solo training techniques. But with that being said, there's no substitute for person-to-person sparring. And I'd say it's essential if you really want to, take it all the way. Like you have to get in there at least once a week. Or if you're more of just a combatives guy, once or twice every 2 weeks, the fucking bare minimum. But you have to go in there and do some sparring. Any advice or avoiding a McDojo, self-defense, or martial arts school? I just made a video about that, man. Check out my latest video. It's all on there. And, I was surprised because I really put a lot of like energy into that video. It got 66 fucking views. I don't know if that's because I monetized it or what, but like that video is literally full of like 18 plus years of experience from me traveling around to different dojos, both McDojos and real shit. Check that video out, man. So with that being said, guys, I gotta go. I got MMA practice starting here in a bit. So I will see everyone next time. Again, send me an email with any questions, comments, concerns. If you want me to address or make a video about something specific or a live stream, we'll do that. And if you guys are so inclined, we do have all of our modern gutter fighting curriculum up on gutterfightingsecrets.com. They're cheap and you can buy it program by program. Highly recommend that you check those out, especially the ground survival one, commando ground survival. Quick warning, guys. I have to update the store. Most of the survival supplies there, we've sold them. We've sold them all out already. We had a big rush, and like we have Israeli gas masks left. That's pretty much it. So I'll update that. Until next time, guys, please remember that you are your first and last line of defense. Paul, awesome to see you. Sean Doe, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends out there. Happy Kwanzaa to anyone who celebrates that. And Merry Christmas to the rest of us. All right, guys. See everyone next time. Cheers, mother flowers.